Good morning, student. Myself, Professor Dhavalchand Dharana, and today we will discuss some remaining point of unit number 2. As previously, I will discuss so many points which are really important regarding a cyber security. So today we will discuss some remaining points of unit number 2 known as network defense tools. We will discuss in this particular unit with two different tools which are providing the security against a secure network as well as our private informations, or we can say a private data. So for that we are using a firewall and packet filters. So in this particular unit we are focusing a basically concept about a firewall and this methodology about the firewall. So guys, today we will discuss some points known as a port forwarding. As previously we discussed, network address translation, because it is the currently required nowadays, because IP version 4 is limited and lots of connectivity, it should be connected via the public IP address. So as per the requirement, we are using a network address translations. If you have any doubt, please go through my previous video, and I hope you are understand what is the requirement of a network address translation. As previously we will discuss a net, at that time we are shown that if the public IP address is accessing outside of remote data, or we can say outside of server's data, at that time we are performing some public to private and private to public IP address conversions. At that time we are also going through the port numbers. So today we will discuss a port forwarding as well as the requirement of port forwarding and how the actual concept will be implemented in a real life. So guys, we will start with the port forwarding. First we will discuss what is a port forwarding and what is the requirement. In a computer network, port forwarding or a port mapping, both the concept should be same in a computer network, is an application of a network address translations. As previously we will see what is the requirement of net and how it's work. That redirects a communications request from one address and port number combinations to another, while the packets are traversing a network gateway such as router and firewall. If you are going through the net videos, then now you are clear what is the requirement of port and what is the requirement of IP address. I will just brief that in a network address translation, we are accessing internet through our private computer, or we can say personal computer. In a personal computer, we are applying a private IP address, and whenever we require to communicate with the outside of network data, or we can say server, at that time we are generating a request from the private IP address to a public IP address. So it is the conversations that will be mentioned in a network address translation table. In this particular port forwarding, the packets are traversing a network gateway such as a router and firewall, because both the thing it should be work as a entry point in outside of network. Port forwarding allows remote computer, or we can say outside of network, for example computer on the internet. Through this they can access our data to connect to a specific computer or a services within a private local area network, or we can say LAN. Is this particular line says that a wireless area network as well as wild area network which are connected to the internet, they can access our data which are part of local area network. So port forwarding allowed a remote computer, because a port, it is the unique identity of any of the computer system which may are connected through the internet. When a configuring port forwarding, the network administrator who can manage the networks sets the assigns one port number on the gateway. In a gateway there are the two things, maybe a router or a firewall, for the exclusive use of communications with a service in the private network located on a specific host. Means if someone want to communicate with a local area network, they first register his or her port number in a particular private network, or we can say in a gateway like a router or a firewall. Because the simple and basic fundamental of firewall is, if someone mentions the rule which are from the end user side, if some packets or data should be come from the outside, they just verify all the requisitions which are implemented in firewall. If they satisfy all the rules and regulations, then they can allow in to access a local area network system. So as per the line says, when a configuring port forwarding, the network administrator set means a network administrator sets a particular port number which are trusted for us and which are trusted from the third party as well as, because we are communicate in a bi-directional. So network administrator allow a particular port number and they can set a particular port number into the gateway. So whenever some message, some data or some request should be coming from this particular port number, they can directly allow to access a local area network. So it is one of the identity that you manage with the network administrator. Second thing, external host must know this port number and the address, we can say IP address of the gateway to communicate with the network internal services, because a remote host or we can say external host through this port number only and only they can allowing a data transmission with a local area network to a global area network. So external host must be known that which kind of port is trusted with register in particular gateway. So if they know their port number, then through this they can communicate with our network or we can say internal services. Often the port number of well-known internet services such as port number 80. I think now you are know what is the 80 port number, because whenever we search any of the web services or we can say websites through this HTTP, the 80 port number is requested through our private computer, are used in a port forwarding. So that common internet services may be implemented on host within a private networks. As per previously I will explain, whenever we requesting through our personal computer to accessing any of the websites, port number 80, it is a trusted because they are working on a HTTP, hypertext transfer protocol, and it should be always be open for the any of the system. When configuring port forwarding, the network administrator sets aside one port number on a gateway of the exclusive use of communications with a services in a private network located on a specific host. As previously we says, all the port forwarding as well as a port registration, it should be work on a administrator side. So a network administrator take a main role through the port forwarding. So now we see how the port forwarding is work. Inside realms, outside realms, and the management between inside realms and outside realms, they can manage with the NAP tables. And previously says NAP table, it's just the communications between where the actual request should be generated and what kind of request should be generated and where the particular data should be delivered. So as figure says, there are the three different server known as 10.1.1.1, 1.2, 1.3. They all the three, it should be part of inside realms, means it is a private network. Whenever some request should be generated from 1, 2 and 3, they are converting some of the registered port number known as 1024, 1024 and 1033. NAP tables or network administrator portable tables, it should be register all the registry or we can say tracking the system known as 0.1 1024, 1.2 1024 and 1.3 1033. So all the 1024 and 1033, it is a port number to identify unique system throughout the network. because IP address may be a duplicate, but port number should be a unique one within the private network. Whenever some request should be generated, first they are go with this particular table. Based on table, if some request should be generated port 1024, they are directly communicate with the 200.100.10.1 with 1024 port number. So all the communication between 1024, it should be directly communicate with this particular table. And whenever some response should be generated from 200 to 102 port number, they are deal with directly 1024. So matching should be implemented in NAP tables. And when some servers should be requested to access remote client, they are just providing a particular port number. Through this port number, NAP table find out the particular outside of realm IP address and generate the request and deliver to the particular packet with the help of these IP addresses as well as a particular port number. So it is known as a port forwarding. Means some request and response should be generated and deliver within this port number. So a port forwarding, it is the basic concept about security, because they are providing a identity towards the particular private network to a public network. Now we see one video which are explain how the port forwarding is actually implemented in real life. So let's guys see one video with help of animations. You can easily understand how a port forwarding is. You are clear about a port forwarding. What is the actual requirement of port forwarding? How they are working on a real time, and how they are communicating with IP address and accessing a particular request and response with help of port number. Now we see what is a port number as well as what is the requirement of port forwarding and why port forwarding is required. Port forwarding is an excellent way to prevent a public IP address. As per previously video says, or we can go through this previously video, we now clear that what is the prevents, or we can say preserves, a public IP address. Whenever some request should be generated from our public IP address, they have communicate with a particular port number which are registered in particular router. So whenever some request should be coming from our personal computer with attached with a public IP address and port number, router just go through the identifications of destination address. Through this they can identify a IP address, because we are already registered a particular port number with a particular destination IP address. It can be protect a server and a client from unwanted access, because whenever we mentions any port number with a particular IP address, the packet should be only delivered within this particular secure network. No one can access or no one can read these particular packets without any kind of authentication. So it should be hide the services and servers available on a network, because as previous videos we says that a router is just provide a identity about the port number. They never disclose about any kind of destination IP address. So means the IP address which we are communicated through the public address, it's never be shown in particular network address, and a limited access to end from the network. Port forwarding is the transparent to the end users and add an extra layer of a security to the network. Now we know that how the port forwarding is added an extra layer of security in a network, because we are hiding our personal identity which are not registered in particular security network. In short, port forwarding is used to keep unwanted traffic off networks, because we are just now clear about source to destinations. We never allow any kind of other requests which are not registered in particular routers. It allows a network administrator to use one IP address for all the external communications on the internal, while dedicating a multiple server with a different IPs and port to the task internally. because it is the actual requirement where some communication should be happen through the internal network to a globally network. Means if someone want to access outside of network data, they must be required to define a port number. Through this they can access our system. Port forwarding is useful for the home networks users who may wish to run a web services as well as gaming server on one network. I think all of you know how the PUBG is work, because it is one of the example known as gaming servers. Means someone speak to any of the remote services, any of the remote locations, we can directly access and we can identify a particular voice through this gaming, or we can say through this port number. The network administrator can set up a single public IP address on the router to translate a request to the proper server on the internal network, because it should be happen with help of IP address as well as port number, which are registered in a particular gateway known as a router. By using only the IP address to accomplish a multiple tasks and dropping all the traffic that is unrelated to the services provider and the firewall, means the administrator can hide from the outside world that service are running on the network. As video says, and as per the video, we now clear that if service provide the firewall, the administrator can just register IP address as well as a port number. So in the second time, they just define a actual port number. With help of port number, they can directly identify a destination addresses. So now we see a last point about port forwarding is known as a different types of port forwarding. First, it is the local port forwarding. Local port forwarding is the most common type of port forwarding which we are seeing in our video. It is used to let a user connect from the local computer to another server, means forward data securely from another client application running on the same computer as a secure shell host, or we can say secure shell client. Means whenever some two different computers are connected within the local network, it should be work as SSH. By using the local port forwarding, firewall that blocks a certain web pages are able to bypass, because it is the actual working of port forwarding. Means whenever any administrator can register a some of the port, they always verify this port number request, and if they register some of the port, the request should be acceptable. Otherwise, all the requests should be blocked by the routers. The SSH servers is configured to redirect a data from a specified port number which is already registered by the network administrator through a secure tunnel to some specified destination host and a port, because the NPPAT table is registered IP address of source as port number as well as destination IP address and port number. Through this matching criteria, they can easily identify that how the packet should be delivered and where the packet should be delivered. Second type of port forwarding, it is known as a remote port forwarding. As previously we discussed, a local port forwarding, it is just work on a local network area. Whenever some two or more systems which are connected to the LAN, some request should be coming from the outside of network, the local port forwarding is accessing through this gateway known as a router. If router is registered this particular port number, then and then a request should be coming from the local area network. Second type, it is known as a remote port forwarding, which we are going through this particular video. This form of port forwarding enables applications on the server side of a secure shell connections to the access service residing on the SSH client. Means SSH is the provide a secure tunnel between source to destination, means client to server. It is the actual concept where no one can access a data between source to destination, because the data packet should be transmitted through the SSL, means it is a secure tunnel. In addition to SSH, there are proprietary tunnels schemes that utilize a remote port forwarding for the same general purpose. Means the actual concept about port forwarding is to deliver a packet with a specific destination. So same thing or same concept should be part of a remote port forwarding. To use the remote port forwarding, the address of destination server, or we can say tunnel client side, and two port number must be known, because first port number which generate the request and second port number which should be destination, or we can say delivered address. So the two port number must be known of the gateway. The port number chosen depends on which application is to be used. As previously we says, if we are using 80 port number, it's always be work on a web size. If 1021 and 23, it should be come with the file transfer protocol. So some unique port number, it should be always register with a specific services, or we can say it's a specific applications. Third port forwarding, it is known as a dynamic port forwarding, which are really required in nowadays. Dynamic port forwarding, or we can say DPF, is an on-demand method of traversing a firewall, or we can say net, through the use of firewall pinholes. Means as on demand, the port forwarding request, it should be generated, and as per the request, a particular port is trusted or not, it should be verified by the firewall. And if firewall is verified all the data packets, so the particular port number is registered with a particular gateway. Means we can say that in a remote as well as local port forwarding, we first register our port number in a gateway, but in a dynamic port forwarding, the port is not registered as previously. Access will be generated, or we can say request should be generated. The goal is to enable the client to connect securely to the trusted server that act as an intermediary for the purpose of sending and receiving data to one or many destination services, because it should be registered in on-demand request. DPF, or we can say dynamic port forwarding, can be implemented by setting up a local applications such as a secure SOCL host as well as SOCKS proxy server, which can be used to process a data transmissions through a network or over the internet network. Means both the concept, if a system will be communicated with the local area network, or we can say that if our computer is communicated with the wide area network, at both the hand a dynamic port forwarding is really useful. And the last says a DPF is a powerful tool with the many uses. For example, a user connected to the internet through a coffee shop, hotels, or otherwise minimally secure network may wish to use a DPF as way to protecting data. As per the example, I think now you are clear what is DPF, because we are accessing any of the net like shop, coffee shop, hotels, bus stations, railway stations nowadays. Because of digital India, everywhere network should be free. So through the Wi-Fi or hotspots, we can directly access a network. So first we register our system, or we can say mobile, to the particular gateway. It is known as a dynamic port forwarding, because so many users will be accessed through the free Wi-Fi. It should be never be registered before they are accessing a network. So it is known as a dynamic port forwarding. Now I think you are clear what is a port forwarding, what is the requirement of port forwarding, and how a port forwarding provides the extra security layer over the net. Thank you guys. Thank you so much.